October 14th, 1985. Milan Central Station. Railway workers freeze as they watch something impossible pull into Platform 7. Train 174. The same train that vanished without a trace in 1965, 20 years ago. The conductor steps off. He checks his pocket watch, looks around confused, and asks a worker what year it is. When they tell him it's 1985, he insists they're wrong. He believes it's still 1965. For him, no time has passed at all. Then the passengers start emerging. All 107 of them. They're wearing 1965 fashion, perfect condition. The women in pillbox hats and gloves. The men in narrow ties and fedoras. None of them understand why everyone is staring. Station security rushes in. They check the passenger manifest against missing persons files from 1965. Every single name matches. These are the exact people who vanished 2 decades ago. But there's something wrong. Something deeply wrong. Not one passenger has aged. Not a single day. A woman who boarded at 23 is still 23. A child who is 8 years old is still 8. 20 years have passed for the world. But for them, it's been hours, maybe minutes. Within hours, every passenger walks out of the station and disappears into Milan. No interviews, no explanations. Security footage shows them leaving in small groups, looking around at the unfamiliar city like tourists in a foreign land. The railway company moves fast, too fast. Within 24 hours, train 174 is decommissioned. Within 48 hours, it's completely destroyed. No investigation, no testing. They burned every piece of evidence that could prove what happened, but a few investigators wouldn't let it go. They tracked down the families, the wives who had remarried, the children who are now adults, and then they discovered something that made their blood run cold. The passengers' families reported seeing them multiple times. Over the next weeks and months, a daughter spotted her mother across the street. A husband saw his wife at a cafe. But every time they approached, the passenger would turn and walk away, never speaking, never acknowledging them. One woman's daughter, now 32 years old, finally cornered her mother in a parking garage. She begged her to explain. The mother stared at her without recognition, then whispered, "I don't have a daughter," and disappeared into the shadows. Investigators found no records of where the passengers went, no hotel registrations, no apartment rentals, no job applications. It was as if they existed only to be seen, like ghosts walking through a world they no longer belonged to. Then, exactly 6 months after train 174 arrived, the sightings stopped, all at once. Every single passenger vanished. No more glimpses at cafes. No more shadows in parking garages. They were gone as completely as they had been from 1965 to 1985. The Italian government sealed all official records in 1987. The railway company paid the families to sign non-disclosure agreements. Anyone who tried to investigate was stonewalled. The story was buried, but the questions remained. Where did train 174 go for 20 years? Why didn't the passengers age? And why did they return only to vanish again? Some investigators believe they never truly returned. That what stepped off that train wasn't quite human anymore. In 2003, an investigator found one last piece of evidence. A photograph taken inside train 174 the day it vanished in 1965. In the background of the image, barely visible through the train window, was Milan Central Station, modern Milan, with cars from 1985.